Hello and welcome. My name is Tom Shima, and today is Saturday, June 20th. I'm going to be continuing to play the game Persona 3 Reload as a part of my Persona A Day series. That's where I've been playing the game one in-game day at a time as it lines up with the real calendar. So as I like to do, I'm going to start off by going over what we did yesterday to make sure we're all caught up and coming into today with the same information. Then we'll get into today's gameplay and see where that takes us. After that, we'll come back here to the desk, talk about it a bit more, and see what other deeper connections I might be able to make. For any of you watching on YouTube, I will have timestamps in the description in case you want to jump ahead to a specific section. Also, please be aware that this is a full playthrough of the game, so we will be encountering spoilers. Alright then, so let's start off by going over what we did yesterday on Friday, June 19th. The day shaped up to be a good day right from the get-go, as I was able to walk to school with Fuuka. She seemed a little nervous, but she said she was glad to have the chance to do something normal like that with a friend. And of course I felt lucky being able to walk to school with her as well, because I want to get to know her a little bit more as well. So it's nice to be considered a friend and just to be able to do casual things like that together. The school day itself seemed unremarkable. Classes and all that went just fine. Just like that, it was the after-school hour, and I made my way around town as I regularly do, stopped in the regular places. And I was able to stop and see Elizabeth and remember that she had a request for me. She wanted to see more of our world. Kind of like we spent time at the Polonia Mall last time. This time she wanted to see the Iwatodai Station and their strip mall. I had the time yesterday, so it felt like the perfect time to do that, so we headed out together. It was really fun to see her take on our world, things like the escalator and the construction area. She had a totally different take on them than what they are, but it was just such a cool way to see the world through her eyes. From there, we headed across the street to the mall portion of things and were greeted by the sights and smells of all the great food that was there. And of course she wanted to sample them. So we started off at Octopia with the takoyaki, and she was amazed at how cost-effective they were, how affordable it was. So we enjoyed that, and I thought that was going to be where we were going to enjoy our meal, but she wanted to try everything that was there, all the different restaurants, Hagakure, Wakatsu Kitchen, all of it. So I followed along as a good participant in this tour, and she seemed undaunted by all the food, but I could tell that I was feeling it. She mentioned that after the 7th meal I was looking a little sluggish, which kind of stands to reason. But she had a lot of fun trying all the different flavors, and she said each one was unique and wonderful and unlike anything she'd had before. So we made our way back to the Velvet Room, and she was continuing to talk about how much fun she had, and how she's going to be trying to look for ingredients so she can try to replicate some of those dishes back in the Velvet Room. So it was a lot of fun to just kind of see the world alongside Elizabeth and get her take on things and experience what is so common and mundane to me in a whole new, fresh way. So after we parted ways, I still had a little bit of time left in the afternoon. I made my way back to school because I saw Fuuka in the hall, and I thought that we'd started the day together, and that was a lot of fun, so maybe I could spend a little bit more time with her after school. Turns out I'm not quite courageous enough for that yet. I need to work on that a bit more, so it opened me back up for other opportunities. So my backup plan there was to attend track practice. It's been a little bit too long since I was there as a member of the club and a member of the team, so I made my way there. Practice itself seemed to go really well. I seemed to be in good form and was having a lot of fun with it, except I didn't see Miyamoto there. I kind of wondered about that, but what can you do? So I was getting ready to leave the school by the shoe lockers, and that's when I encountered him. He was tying his shoe, and it looked like his leg was bothering him again. Turns out he'd just come back from the hospital and received those test results from when his mom had taken him there to have his leg examined. And I was going to ask a bit more about that, but his leg was bothering him, like I said, so I kind of tried to discreetly help him up. He didn't want the rest of the team to find out his leg's bothering him, and I was going to keep that secret as best I'm able. So I was able to get him back on his feet, and he was thankful to have me there and that I wasn't pressing on the issue. I figure, once he's ready to tell me, he will tell me. But he mentioned he wants to get a little bit of training in and try to recuperate the leg that way. And I also kind of took the hint that he wants to work on that at his own pace without me hovering over him on that, so I continue to hope that he's going to trust his limits and be responsible with it, but I left him to his own devices and didn't want to get in his way. And he was good to have that trust. We seemed to be that much closer. We increased the Chariot social link rank to 5, and we parted ways just feeling like we trust each other and understand each other a bit more. So that took me back to the dorm in the evening. I had been to Tartarus with the team for 4 times this week already. It's been good every time. We made a lot of solid progress in leveling, advancing to a barrier floor. We rescued someone who had wandered into Tartarus. So they were all good outings, but I wanted to do something a little different and less harrowing last night. And it's been a long time since I spent any time at Game Parade, despite being an avid gamer. So that was really calling my name. They had a game that focused on courage as well, so that was even better since I want to work on that, along with all the other social skills. But to get closer to Fuuka, I need more courage. So it really seemed like the perfect outing. So I made my way over there, played that game, improved my courage, and just had a lot of fun being a normal high schooler enjoying the arcade on a Friday evening. That brought me back to the dorm at a good reasonable hour to finish off relaxing for the day, get to bed at a good time, and come into Saturday rested up and ready for whatever comes my way. So that was how Friday wrapped up. That catches us up on what happened and brings us into Saturday for another good day. I'll get us over to the game and we'll be right there. Alright, so here we are. This is where we left off after playing the game at Game Parade. I gained a couple points of courage, not enough to level it up, but to take steps from becoming something higher than determined. And it was nice to just take that break and enjoy it, so I'm glad I spent the time that way. And here we are now, Saturday the 20th, to catch up with the real calendar. Looks like another day starting off hearing other students talking about things. I can hear people talking.
Come to think of it.
By the way, you know Mitsuru Kirijo, the student council president? I heard she's going to study abroad after high school, probably to prepare herself to run the Kirijo group in the future. Wow, that's crazy. It's like she lives in a different world from us plebs. But she's staying in a dorm, right? Why would a rich girl want to live in a dump like that? Maybe her family made her to understand how us ordinary folks live or something. Interesting. Earlier in the week, we also heard students, I'm not sure if it was the same two here, but also talking about the Kirijo group and wondering about the fact that a big mega corporation like that had funded the construction of this modern cutting-edge school, and why some group with so many hands in so many different fields would want to build a school. And now they're talking about Mitsuru and just kind of wondering why someone like that would be living in a dorm. A lot of that unknown speculation going around, kind of like the rumors about the ghost stories the week we were looking for Fuuka. Still, people like to talk and speculate on things they're not quite sure of, but it's kind of been a recurring topic this week now. But the first bell has rung, so it's time for school. And it was another good day, it looks like. Oh.
Do you have a moment?
I believe so. Nice to get to this after-school time, too. I've said it on past Saturdays as well, and there's just that really cool feeling of getting to the end of the last day of school for the week and knowing that this is the furthest point from when I need to be back in class. The next day is mine to do whatever I want. There's no class, no expectations, and I can just approach the day, hopefully, as openly as possible. So there's that feeling of unlimited potential right now.
I was just told that the chairman will be stopping by this evening.
So maybe there's a little less unlimited potential. Always nice to see the chairman.
When you get back, make sure to come to the 4th floor.
Okay.
Oh, okay then.
It is kind of a surprise, and there's a lot of these days too where it's like we've been told to meet in the evening without having a lot of details on what the meeting is about. Not that I need those details or anything, but sometimes it would be kind of nice to know.
I'll see you all later.
But I trust everybody here, so if they want me to meet, I'm happy to go along with that.
Talk about short notice. Maybe he wants to tell us a new joke.
That does kind of seem like something the chairman might enjoy doing. But a lot of times when he does have a meeting, there is something a little more pressing alongside the jokes he'll inevitably have.
Who knows? But I am a little curious. Guess I'll head straight back today. Koro-chan, shake.
Well, there's a sight. Wonderful.
Oh, we did it! What a smart dog. Oh, welcome back.
Nice to be back.
Hey there.
Hi. I am definitely curious about the dog. I love dogs. I mean, who doesn't? Haven't seen him around. And I mean, I would be interested in petting the dog here. It seems like it interacts well with the two of them, so it'd be kind of nice if I could get in on that fun. And I don't want to know, I mean, I'm curious, like I say, about the dog, but I don't want to say what's with the dog and make that sound dismissive or like anything negative. Nothing negative is, can I pet him? I would love to pet him.
Sure.
There's also that nice, responsible approach of approaching an unknown animal that way. It seems like Fuuka and Yukari might be more familiar with him, and I'm not familiar with him, and he's not familiar with me, so I don't want to just reach down and say, oh, here's a new dog, because if something happens, that's totally my fault then, and I don't want that to happen, so.
Go on, Koro-chan. You know how to say hi, right?
Wonderful.
His name's Koromaru.
Koromaru.
I've seen him sitting by the steps of the shrine.
I've been to the shrine quite a lot. Haven't noticed this guy. Not doubting her or anything.
Oh, this dog still goes on walks all by himself?
Oh.
What do you mean?
He used to belong to the priest at the Naganaki Shrine. Every afternoon, the two of them went this way for a walk.
So that's what he was doing here.
I see. So he's continuing that tradition of taking that same routine walk. I can relate to that. As this playthrough has been going on, I've kind of taken my own regular routine around town.
That is, until the priest passed away.
That's unfortunate.
He passed away?
Oh, you haven't heard the story? I think it was about 6 months ago. The priest was hit by a car while walking his dog. He didn't survive. Ever since then, that dog has continued to go on walks, always stopping to sit by the site of the accident. But he refuses to let anyone take him in. Why, just the other day, my son... Oh my goodness, look at the time. I must be going. My son will be home soon.
Oh, you're such a loyal dog. Good boy.
Yeah.
Huh? Is he... What's wrong? Oh, nothing. Sorry.
I wonder where she was going with that. It's nice to know more about Koromaru here. Unfortunate backstory. Good to have context for the way he lives.
More importantly, isn't the chairman coming today?
After the sight of a dog like that, I'd kind of forgotten as well. It's like, oh yeah, he was coming. But dog.
We should probably go get ready. Yeah, you're right. See you later, Koro-chan.
Kind of hard to part ways knowing all that, but also it seems that Koromaru is very self-sufficient if he's been taking these walks for the last 6 months. It's not really my place to step in, I suppose. Hopefully I can see him around a bit more, though, because I'd like to get to know Koromaru a bit more. Well, I didn't exactly get to spend time, but I'm happy to have spent it with a dog there.
Everyone.
Hello, Chairman. It's been a little while since we've all assembled like this. I guess, about a week. That was when we received our new updated battle gear and weapons and access to our theurgy. And he said he was going to research the shadows more, so I wonder if maybe he called us here because he's discovered something.
I gathered you all here because I wanted to let you know how my research has been going.
I'm glad I'm on the right track with that, potentially.
It concerns the shadows that have been appearing during full moons.
I am curious there. Those have definitely been anomalies compared to the normal shadows we see around Tartarus.
Now, I want you to listen closely. It might be hard to follow.
All right. Always kind of tough to have a lecture prefaced with that, but let's lock in and try to pay attention.
Shadows can be divided into 12 categories, according to their characteristics.
Yeah, shadows can be divided into 12 categories according to their characteristics.
This we've known for a while. We can think of it like their class or order.
Okay.
I've classified the special shadows we've seen so far, and well, it's simply fascinating.
Is it? Do go on.
Why are you so excited about it?
I suppose that's a fair question, but there's that concept of reaching a level of understanding that we haven't had before that is definitely exciting. When you're trying to solve a mystery and something just clicks into place, that changes everything. So that would definitely feel exciting to some level of research and investigation.
So...
Right. Those 4 shadows belong to categories 1 through 4 in order of their appearance.
Interesting.
They may have looked different than the more common ones, but the classification scheme still applies.
And that's something we should be excited about?
I am kind of with Junpei there. I mean, I do find it somewhat fascinating, but I will also say I'm probably kind of in the dark on the specifics on that, so... Junpei's kind of saying what I'm thinking, to some capacity.
Oh, I get it. There are 12 in all.
But leave it to Fuuka to put the pieces together a lot more quickly than Junpei or I.
And 8 we haven't seen yet.
Exactly. And if the trend were to follow the same pattern we've seen so far, it's potentially safe to assume we know what category of shadow could be coming next then, along with the fact that it seemed to show up at the full moon.
That's exactly right, Yamagishi-kun. You're quite sharp.
She is.
Oh, okay, but what are they after?
That's a good question, and that's what we haven't figured out yet. Their motive. They don't kill their prey. They feed on their minds. Now, it could be considered predation, but is it really? Is there actually an underlying intent behind their behavior?
It would be nice to know some level of motivation, because we have kind of seen instances of deeper thinking. They're not just that animalistic predator, like he says here. They're not killing their prey, and if they're feeding off them, then they might want to sustain whatever source they have if there's a reason for them to be feeding off the mind. You don't just kill your food source, because then you don't have a food source. And like on the train as well, they were able to try to separate us. They were able to lure Junpei away and then attack us in smaller numbers. So there's definitely some more level of thought going on there.
The purpose of the shadows as a whole. That's what we need to consider.
All right, well, I agree then. This is fascinating.
This is interesting.
Yeah,
But no matter what their intent, we still have to beat the rest of them.
that's a fair point as well. We do want to understand them and know what's going on, but our mission still seems to remain the same.
I agree. That's about all we can do at this point.
8 more, huh? Lucky us.
It is a daunting thought, considering each one has been stronger than the one that's come before it, but there's also that level of knowing and being able to prepare. Kind of like when we made the connection between the full moons and those shadows appearing, that gives us a timetable to work off of. So if we know the different categories of shadow and how they might be changing, that gives us just one more piece of information. I'm not sure exactly what this, category scheme is, but if we've seen 1 through 4 and the trend were to hold true, it's likely we would see category 5 as our next one, which is just one more piece of the puzzle we could have advanced knowledge of. The less blind we come into a fight, the better our odds are.
According to the data, each one has been stronger than the last. That means we better start training harder.
That's a good point as well. It's been nice to make the training progress I have this week, but now I'm even more motivated, knowing a bit more about what we're facing.
We'll manage. We've got plenty of time.
It's true, I do feel ahead of the curve right now, but it's also an easy trap to fall into of thinking, I've got 17 more days, I don't need to worry, I can put this off, and that deadline gets closer and closer, and before you know it, you don't have that time anymore.
But why does Tartarus even exist in the first place?
That seems to be the core of the mystery. That's not the reaction I expected. And she picked up on that just the way I did. The puzzle pieces are falling into place one by one. Those large shadows that only appear on the full moon. I wonder what their purpose is. 8 more remain. We have a long road ahead of us. All right. Well, I was kind of wondering if that was going to be where our day ended. It's been a very quick one to get to the evening at this pace already. So it's nice to have a little bit of time here to actually choose where I want to spend it. Looks like everybody around the dorm's got something going on. people to talk to. I want to stop up in my room first off, though, because it's been kind of a tradition in the evenings now. We'll check our messages while we're there, see how everybody else spent their evening, and kind of try to come up with a game plan for what time I have left. Nice to just be in here, too, and have this be a base of operations. So it's Saturday night. I've got the evening. I've got no messages. I haven't saved the game yet either, so I got to do that. That feels good. All right, so let's see how everybody else chose to spend their evening. All right, couple social links that I've not been able to unlock just yet. 20% of people are there, though, so I need to keep my eyes open and see what I might need to be doing. 6% of people went to Tartarus, which I can totally understand, coming off of that discussion about needing to train up for the fight. We've made it to that barrier floor on floor 69 already, so we're a little bit ahead of the average floors explored of being 64. Level-wise, though, I'm still hovering around that 23-24 range, so that's a little out of range. Not too bad yet, but it's not something I want to let go too far. But, as Akihiko was saying, we do still have some time. So I will get us back to Tartarus eventually. Whether or not that's today kind of remains to be seen. It was nice taking a break from Tartarus last night, and the fact that it is the start of the weekend. I've got Saturday, I've got Sunday tomorrow. Kind of want to do something fun. Seeing everybody downstairs with different activities kind of further motivates me to want to go that direction. Seeing different daily life activities over there too, like watching a DVD with Sonata or going, to the garden with Junpei. Those all sound like fun too. Going out and getting something to eat doesn't sound bad either, but we've got a lot of options. So I'm going to start out by going downstairs, talking to people, maybe taking a walk around town, stopping a couple places so we don't just go and do one thing. Maybe that'll kind of dictate where I want to spend the rest of the time. So Junpei wants to go gardening. We've got those tomatoes growing on the roof. That wouldn't be bad to kind of tend those together. Again, get to spend some time with him. I read some manga with him earlier in the week, and it was nice to see that side of him. It would also benefit the tomatoes, potentially. Yukari, how you doing? Everything about Tartarus is such a mystery. How long has it been there? Why did it appear in the first place? Do you think we'll ever know the answers? I'd like to think so, but that is one of those challenges because there are so many unknowns, and we're not working in a traditional framework of traditional logic. It's like everything about this is a mystery that defies all kinds of reasoning, so we can't really apply traditional thought processes to whether or not we can solve this puzzle. Fuuka, how's it going? Let's talk. I ran an estimate on the strength of the remaining large shadows that appear during full moons. And as you can probably guess, we're going to be in for a long, hard fight. But I think we can handle it. I'm sure we'll be fine as long as you keep training and growing stronger in Tartarus. That is definitely the plan. And it's nice to have Fuuka's encouragement on that. She definitely feels like the rational kind that can run these numbers and simulations. And it's nice to hear the initial estimate is that we've got a chance, and it's not just doom and gloom right from the get-go.
All right.
Let's both do our best. Yes, let's. I'm going to count on her as much as she counts on me. Chairman, no puns today. I'm kind of surprised. The real question is, do shadows act independently, or are they working together towards some goal? Yeah, we've got a little bit like I was talking about during the meeting, remembering back to the time on the train, where it kind of felt like there was some level of cognition between them, and they were able to separate us and work us as in smaller groups. They knew that with Yukari, Junpei, and I together, it wasn't working out, so if they could lure Junpei away, it divides our forces, and there seems to be some level of shadow coordination going on there. In essence, does a group of shadows target a single human and ravage his mind with purpose? Or is each individual shadow simply devouring human minds for their own survival? That's an interesting take on it as well. Theirs was more of a defensive fight against us as we were invading their area as they've taken over the train. But at a traditional daily behavior standpoint, yeah, we don't really know anything about that. This is what we must discern. Well, I am glad we've got the chairman on our side doing that level of research, because that seems kind of outside of my ability. Mitsuru might be able to work well with that, and I'm sure Fuuka would as well. Junpei and I, maybe not so much. Akihiko as well. We're all kind of the combat-focused side of the group. I'd like to think maybe my character could step up, but I also need to know my limits and where I seem to fit better right now. Maybe as my academics improve, or my courage, or all those other social stats, I'd be more able to see the bigger picture, but stuff to work towards.
I'm sorry.
I'm thinking right now. If you're looking for someone to talk to, please find someone else. That's kind of a different reply from Mitsuru. She's usually a bit more open than that. Everybody has things they need to think about or that end up on their minds, so I'm not gonna... she's just as entitled to that as everybody else. But I will notice a difference there. So as far as social time spending, it looks like I could garden with Junpei or watch a DVD with Akihiko. Both seem like a lot of fun. But I'm going to take a walk outside first and just get some steps around town. Enjoy this June evening. Summer's getting closer day by day. Nice to get out in a cooler temperature as well. It's not the heat of midday. Okay, we'll start off at the mall here. Still haven't improved my charm yet, so I can't do anything with that social link. Spent time at Game Parade yesterday, so I probably won't be going back there today. It was a lot of fun yesterday, but kind of got to balance those activities. Could play You're the Answer or Edgar's House of Fortunes, though. I believe there's a sale at the pharmacy, though. I'm not necessarily in the market for anything, but I always like to check and see what he's got on sale and what my current medicine stock is. So I will stop in, and if nothing else, say hi to him. He's been reminding us all week that it's been getting hot. The kind of thing that can be hard to hear sometimes, like we don't know it's hot outside.
We're having one big sale today. You can't find prices lower than here.
All right, well, I will take a look. Stuff like the basic medicine here. As we level up more and our total HP goes up and we receive more damage, 50 HP stops being quite as big a healing. It's still not bad right now. And
We're lucky to be born in an age where medicine is more readily accessible. It took forever to get to where we are now.
That is impressive, and the rapid evolution as things keep going now. I was looking at the band-aids here and realizing I've only got 2 of those, but I've been finding a lot of revival beads in Tartarus recently, so I do have revival options beyond this. Yeah, as I scroll through, I don't really see anything calling out specifically to me that I feel like I need to pick up. Considering the cost of these 2, I mean, 100 HP to the entire party, that's not bad. That's a good fallback. But I do only have 2 of these.
Better check your food for mold,
But
lad.
25, or basically 2,600 yen is kind of a lot of an outlay right now for something that I'm not sure I especially need. Well, we're not going to get any further in Tartarus for the next couple weeks because we've reached that barrier floor. And I do have at least another week before the next full moon, so I don't think I'm going to spend the money this week. But pharmacist, thank you so much for chatting with me and showing me the sale.
Come again, yeah?
I definitely will. Stop by Officer Kurosawa as well. We haven't seen him yet today. Kind of weird to be doing this in evening hours. He runs his sales on Monday. I don't think there's anything he has that I really need to buy. I know we're good on armor. I believe we're good on footwear.
What are you looking for?
Yeah, I could have a minimal up, from 42 to 44, but, gallant sneakers resist fear as well. Same, we have 4 points there, but that loses the null poison.
I have no idea what you're fighting out there.
Yep, looks like we're all good for our footwear.
Getting over your heads.
And we already went through the weapons, and the stuff we got from the chairman last week is comparable or in some cases better than what I'm already using, so yeah, I think gear-wise we're still good.
What do you got?
Nothing to sell today, so Officer Kurosawa, thank you for the support. Hope you're doing well.
All done here?
I am.
Be seeing you.
It was nice to spend some time with Elizabeth yesterday, going to the Iwatodai Station area.
Good day. Are you accepting a request?
We're down to just 4 requests. We're really cleaning up on the current list. Ooh, the Big Eater Challenge. That is something I can only do on the weekends. That could be something to do tonight. I believe that also works on Courage, which would fill that need of trying to get closer to Fuuka.
Very well, then.
That's an idea. It would be something fun. It would be something different. I didn't have 7 meals like I did yesterday with Elizabeth, so maybe I'm actually hungry tonight too. But that could be a nice, fun way to enjoy a Saturday night. Try to eat a bunch of food tonight and then sleep it off tomorrow morning, and since it is a day off. Gotta stop in and say hi to Igor while I'm here, though.
Welcome to the Velvet Room.
Igor, Elizabeth, just wanted to stop in and say hi. Hope you're having a good weekend. Actually, while I'm here, I might take a look. There was that Book of the Ancients I received the other day.
Now then,
It is a special persona you desire, is it not?
It was, but maybe it's just something that I confuse
What
normally.
kind of persona do you desire?
Well, nothing's standing out to me here. Well, it was nice to talk to them and see. Igor, Elizabeth, thank you for showing me the ropes there. Turns out there's nothing I really need help with today, but I appreciate you trying anyway. So I hope you have a good Saturday, and I will try to see you tomorrow.
We look forward to your next visit.
I'm pretty good with the current persona I have. I mean, tonight I'm not doing anything with a social link, so I don't really need to change anything up. I just kind of thought if it stood out, and Thoth, I think, was the persona I could summon with that new book. Didn't see it on the special list where I thought I'd see it, though. But we'll see going forward. And we're starting to notice more apathy syndrome people around town, like the gentleman here. We've known that probably does happen as we get closer to the full moon, so that is in line with what we've been noticing. And we'll just see as time goes forward how many more we see around town. Looks like pretty status quo here in Club Escapade. All the couples up here, dance floor down below. Nice to just stop in and again make another destination for the night. I'm not doing much here. I mean, I guess I'm not moving any less than a lot of the people on the floor here, so enjoy a little bit of a party here. Kind of the opposite of those times I stop at the shrine and just kind of take it in and restfully meditate. Now we're just going to take in the club ambience here and enjoy that for a minute. All right, that's some good socializing on Saturday here. Let's continue on. I'm kind of conflicted now on how I want to spend the rest of my time, whether it's with the couple people back at the dorm, either Junpei or Akihiko, or if I want to attempt the Big Eater Challenge. I've tried it the last 2 weekends, and I got a little closer each time. Maybe this will be the one. That would complete a request for Elizabeth, which would be nice. And it does work on courage, which could potentially allow me to spend some time with Fuuka going forward. But there's also the choice of actively spending time right now with Akihiko or Junpei, which would be good in its own way. Another person not looking so good. Hope you're doing okay, ma'am. In the Net Cafe, we purchased everything there. I'm 95% sure there's going to be nothing new today, but as a place to stop with our evening, yep, still looks like we're good here. Still, it's always fun to think back. I mean, I always liked going to electronics places like that and just seeing what's available for purchase. Like, ooh, I've got that, I don't need that, I don't need that. But there's just something about seeing those sorts of displays that isn't quite the same anymore in a digital marketplace. It's similar, but different. See if there's anybody out in front of the dorm. We haven't been out in front of the building. Well, I guess we were kind of here outside with Koromaru this afternoon. Almost said the other day. This might be the week. I've got the time. Dinner sounds good. I haven't eaten anything today as far as I'm aware. We went right from school to the dorm, to the meeting. Yeah, well, let's attempt it. I'd like to think, maybe I don't want to count my chickens and such, but I'd like to think that Junpei and Akihiko will still be at the dorm going forward from here, so we might be able to watch that DVD or do the gardening with them another time. But if I can finish off this Big Eater Challenge, that accomplishes something for Elizabeth, which either gets it off the list or unlocks whatever the next tier of the request would be. Both would be good things in my book. So I'm going to save the game, and let's finish off our day here at Wild Duck Burger. Looks pretty crowded, so I assume they're doing their Big Eater Challenge again. Big Eater Challenge. It's only 1,800 yen. So that used to be a lot more to me. I've got a little bit more than that now, so it's still, I don't want to spend, willy-nilly, but I can afford it a bit better now. Yes, Elizabeth mentioned there's a food challenge. This is my week. I've trained for this the last 2 weekends. It's the Big Eater Challenge, a notorious challenge even famous competitors surrender to. It's had my number the last 2 weeks, but yeah, maybe this is the one. This is a ridiculous amount of burgers. I wonder if I'll be able to finish everything. No matter how much I eat, the amount of burgers doesn't seem to decrease. Try to remember what we did last time. It feels like it's so long ago now. I think I looked away from the burgers, and that seemed to work out. Yeah, let's try it. Let's look away from the burgers. Okay, so far so good then. Eating while staring off into the distance made me feel a little better. I feel like I'm making progress, but I shouldn't get ahead of myself. And this is where it's tough, because I believe I remember trying to wash it down with soda, but that didn't seem to help last time. So maybe I missed... Oh, or did they? Probably should look back over my notes on what I did last time, but... again, I'm not using any sort of guides or walkthroughs on this, so this is just my own memory, apparently not doing too well at this. And I came into this feeling so confident as well. I feel like I've got the momentum on my side. Maybe I need to eat without stopping. Taking breaks feels like a good way to lose that momentum and let the daunting pile of burgers win. And I've got that thought that the last time I attempted this, I was trying to wash it down with a soda, and that didn't work. No matter what happens, I know I need to make better notes this time around. I'm going to try to eat without stopping today. Working through the pain, I managed to maintain my pace without stopping. Okay, that sounds good. It's the final stretch. How can I keep this up and complete the challenge? Ooh, choices here. Savor the flavors, imagine something sour, or chew properly and slowly. From a, spot the difference idea, this one stands out, imagining something sour, because savoring the flavors seems like, again, I'm slowing down. Chewing properly and slowly specifically says I'm slowing down. The pile, though, I just looked away from my choices here. That looks still quite daunting if I were to see that in front of me, but a lot less daunting than the 14 or whatever burgers I started off with. Slowing down now really, just like the previous step, feels like the wrong choice. I do want to enjoy the food as well, so the thought of savoring the flavors does sound appealing. The thought of imagining something sour sounds a little dubious after filling myself with that many burgers. But again, it stands out to me as the one different thing between the three. I don't want to slow down. I've got to take notes this week, because if I come back to this, I don't want to be that deer in the headlights again and be like, okay, what did I do a week ago? Because it has literally been a week since I've been here. If anything, I feel lucky to have made it this far, considering. I'm going to go with the gut. No pun intended. My first thought was imagining something sour because it stands out as different between the other two. And I'm going to make a note of this week, because if this isn't the right answer, I want to have that knowledge coming into next week. But that will be my note, not a guide or walkthrough. Let's imagine something sour and see, fingers crossed, what happens. Imagining eating something sour instead helped me maintain my pace. That sounds encouraging. Ooh, time's up. That looks like that plate is empty. Yes, I managed to eat the mountain of burgers. Pacing, technique, and mental fortitude were all required. I feel like I've grown. Okay, I got some academics there. I'm not opposed to that. I didn't expect that. I kind of thought that might be more of a courage thing like it had been the last couple weeks, but I need progress across the board, so I'll take that. And just the fact that I made it through that challenge, which really feels like I really lucked out there. Oh. Oh, look at that. Charm has improved to smooth. Nice. It really feels like Charm has moved at a much quicker pace than academics. to be level 4 already. And that might be enough for me to talk to the man in the suit outside next time. I think I needed to be smooth to interact with him, so that might open up a new possibility for me. I did not anticipate that, but look at that. And I was kind of hoping this would fill out the triangle here. I'll be getting points for every... Oh, wow. Okay, what a night. I am extremely pleased I chose to come to Wild Duck tonight. Thank you so much, Wild Duck. I will champion your meals from here on out. To gain a point in charm and courage tonight, I could not have asked for better, and to get some progress in academics as well. I am smooth, tough, and above average now. I do remember yesterday that to interact with Fuuka properly after school, I needed to be, I believe it was the badass level, so I still have some work on courage to go. But if I'm able to interact with the man in the suit outside with this level of charm, then I can really focus in on courage and try to get that up to the next level. I don't want academics to fall behind either, so maybe I should keep things balanced, but wow. I did not see this coming, and I'm very happy it did. Thanks to completing the Big Eater Challenge, I can now order the limited weekend Wild Duck set when it's available. So, another added bonus. A new bit of food I haven't been able to access before. What a feeling of accomplishment. Probably ready to get back to the dorm and sleep off that pile of burgers as well, but... yeah, first I need to report to Elizabeth, which obviously will be a tomorrow thing, or the next time I see her. I'd like to think that would be tomorrow, but who knows what tomorrow will bring. All right. That looks like the end of Saturday the 20th. Let's head back to the desk and talk about it. Almost said let's head back to the dorm, but that's what I did as a character. Okay, so here we are back at the desk. That is the end of Saturday, June 20th, and that was an amazing day. It really had all the feelings of another quick one as things were shaping up, and technically looking at the clock, it has been a quicker one than recently. But I do feel like I packed a lot into that day. To think again that we started off at school, that feels like a while ago. Hearing more of those rumors of students talking about the Kirijo group, and specifically Mitsuru this time, and hearing that she might be going overseas to study after high school, and that she's preparing to take over this big corporation, and then also wondering why she's living in the dorms like us normal people. People have questions, but Mitsuru seems like she's definitely on top of a lot, and she's so busy with everything that I'm sure those sorts of rumors would abound. But it was a standard school day. The game didn't call out anything specific, so made it through that with no problems. I had Mitsuru show up after school. Junpei, Yukari, and I were all kind of talking after class, and she just asked us to plan to stop by the dorm in the evening because Chairman Ikutsuki was going to stop by because he had something he wanted to talk about. So we made plans to do that. Unlike a normal afternoon, I didn't really have the freedom to walk around like I normally do. I was making my way back to the dorm. Yukari kind of said the same. It's like, oh, we might as well make it back early and just be ready for whenever he arrives. It seemed like Fuuka and she headed out a little bit before I did, because as I was approaching the dorm, they were both already there, and they were playing with a dog that I hadn't encountered before. And he looked nice and energetic. He was able to shake, and he just looked like, the perfect dog, really. And they seemed to be having a lot of fun interacting with him. And as I approached, I was able to ask if I could pet him as well. And thankfully, he was welcome to that, and I was able to interact socially with the dog, which was just the perfect way to get home from school. He looked like such a smart dog, too. He was able to walk right over to me, and he let me pet him, and it was just as good as it sounds. There was a passing housewife that seemed to know Koromaru as well, and mentioned that he used to belong to the priest at the shrine. And they always took walks in the afternoon, and they always took this route, so that explained why he was showing up in front of the dorm a bit more for Yukari and Fuuka. And unfortunately, we learned that the priest was in an accident while walking Koromaru and unfortunately passed away. So that was hard to hear. Feel bad for the priest, but for Koromaru as well, who lost his partner there. But it's nice to see that he still takes those walks, and he still seems loyal to that priest. So I'm hoping I can see more of Koromaru going forward, because that was just such a fun social interaction. That totally makes up for not being able to spend time with other people or social links after school, because dog. But we did that. We enjoyed spending time with Koromaru, and the three of us headed inside then. And it wasn't too long before Chairman Ikutsuki showed up. So we all met up in the command room to talk. And kind of like I'd speculated, he's been doing the research into the shadows, as he's been saying, and he just wanted to update us on what his current progress was. He said it was interesting as he was researching the big shadows that appeared, in that they followed a traditional classification method. He revealed that there are different categories of shadow that we've been encountering in Tartarus. He had a new revelation about that. But yeah, the chairman was talking about the different classifications of shadows we've encountered in relation to the big shadows we've been encountering during the full moons. And he said there's a direct parallel. So far, each of the full moon shadows has followed an increasing categorical order, from Category 1 all the way up through Category 4. So it stands to reason, if that same trend were to continue, that we would expect to see Category 5 in the next full moon, 6 on the following, and so on. So that's just one more interesting piece of information that can help us strategize and prepare for whatever's coming our way. He also then kind of talked more about trying to understand the motivation of the shadows. We don't exactly know how they interact or why they interact or what their motivation is, so we still need to learn more about that. But he talked about how they devour the minds of people rather than intentionally just killing people. So there is some level of cognition going on there, in that they're seeing us as some level of sustenance or something. So there will be more research to go from there, but there was just that exciting vibe of making some level of progress. Fuuka seemed to be right there with him and be able to put the pieces together, so she definitely seems like she's got a good head for this sort of thing. I'm going to defer to her with a lot of that sort of information until I have a better grasp of it, but it's just got to be that much more encouraging as a team to know a bit more about our opponent, even if there are still a lot of questions. We're able to kind of recognize more of those patterns as we've been seeing more shadows, and hopefully that trend can just keep going. So I walked away from that meeting feeling like I learned a lot, and like there's still a lot that kind of went over my head. Junpei and I were both kind of in the same boat there, as we were listening and trying to do our best to pay attention, but I don't think I was quite there like Fuuka was. But we'll get there, I'm sure. That's the part of being a team as well. I will lean into my strengths, and I'll rely on the strengths of others to balance that out. And after that, I had some time for the evening, so that gave me that choice again of how I wanted to spend it. There was a chance to do some gardening with Junpei or to watch a DVD with Akihiko, which both sounded fun. But I also kind of wanted to just get out and see around town and see where I wanted to go. I had done the arcade recently, so I didn't really think about Game Parade. But I stopped by Club Escapade just to stop there. I made my way over to the Iwatodai Mall and stopped up at the Net Cafe to browse and find that there was no new stock, but just somewhere else to stop. And I thought then along the way of the Wild Duck Burger challenge. There's that Big Eater challenge that's been going on the weekends that I've attempted the last couple weeks that Elizabeth wants me to complete. I came closer each week that I'd attempted it, so I was hopeful that maybe this would be my week to overcome it. In the end, that ended up winning out ahead of spending time with Junpei or Akihiko. Nothing against them. Hopefully I can do that again soon, but I wanted to complete this request for Elizabeth, if at all possible, just to either complete it and get it off the list, or in the event that it leads to something else, be able to attempt that sooner than later. It also sounded like a lot of fun. It's Saturday night, tomorrow's a day off, so if I'm going to try to attempt a big eating challenge, this is probably the best chance to do it, because I can rest up, maybe sleep in tomorrow if it's been a bunch of food. Just all the narrative things for me were pointing me that way. And the fact that every week the Big Eater Challenge has contributed to my courage also was in line with me wanting to be able to build that courage to get closer to Fuuka. So that's what I ended up doing. I made my way over and attempted the third time for the Big Eater Challenge. And I made it through the first phase by remembering that I had looked away from the burgers the last time. And then I got to the second phase, and I could not remember what my choice was last time. I had a thought that I had chosen to try to wash it down with soda, but I couldn't remember if that was the right choice or the wrong choice. So it was a little bit of a questionable bit of panic in the moment. I was really hoping to accomplish it, and I didn't look over my notes for the past, so I was kind of coming in more blind than I should be today. But I went with continuing to eat and not slowing down, basically. And thankfully that was enough to move past that level of the challenge and on to the next. So that was by far definitely the farthest I'd made it in the challenge thus far. That said, it was the final stretch at that point where I could either savor the food, think about something sour, or slow down and chew more properly. My first reaction was looking at the three. The one that stood out differently was thinking about something sour, since the others both seemed to be slowing the pace down. There was no reason really for that to definitely be the answer. I could really have made the case for any of them being good or bad. But I ended up going with thinking about something sour just because, like I said at the time, it was that gut reaction of, let's try that one. And lo and behold, that was actually the answer. I was able to finish the last of the burgers on the platter there. It was totally empty. I didn't look too worse for the wear, but I overcame the challenge, finished all the burgers, and just had that great sense of accomplishment. Probably wasn't hungry, probably won't be for a while either, but I was able to complete that request for Elizabeth then, which feels good. And even more than that, I was able to gain points of progress in all 3 of my social skills: academics, courage, and charm. And the best news of all was that was actually enough to level up both my courage and my charm all in one night. I could not have asked for a better night unless academics had improved as well, but even improving one thing feels kind of greedy, so to see 2 go up at the exact same time, both to rank 4, that's just massive. That took my charm up to smooth, which I think is enough to interact with the man in the suit that we've been seeing around the mall in the evenings at times. I think we have an idea who he is, but I won't go into that until we're 100% sure. But, that just opens up another door potentially for me. That took my courage up to the next level, which isn't quite the level that I can interact with Fuuka at, but it's one step closer. And just having that courageous progress is going to be good as the investigation goes on and I encounter whatever challenges I do. So that just felt massive. I mean, it was the perfect capstone to the day that I was hoping for it to be. Made it through school in the morning, got to meet a dog, Koromaru, in the afternoon and have a lot of fun with him. Got to learn more about the shadows from Chairman Akutsuki and see the different reactions from the team on that in the evening. And then I got to overcome a personal challenge to complete a request and to better myself socially and actually make real tangible progress across the board. So looking back on Saturday, I could not ask for anything more. It's exactly what I wanted it to be, and it's just such a rewarding day. I hope you had as much fun watching it as I did. But that takes us to the end of Saturday the 20th. It was a fantastic day. I can only hope that I can keep going with that in the future and just keep it that same level of momentum going. But I want to thank you so much for being here today. It's always so fun to have you here. I appreciate it. My name is Tom Shima. I stream this Persona A Day series live every day at 12:30 Eastern Time. So if you want to be here, I would love to have you. I've got that schedule up on Twitch, and that should be converted into your local time. So if you ever want to come again, I would love to have you. I know everybody's got their real life situations going on as well, so I get that people are busy, so I upload each of my daily playthroughs to YouTube as well. I've got a playlist of everything I've done so far, so if you want to catch up on a previous day or the current day, they're there for you at your own pace. They've got those timestamps so you can jump ahead to a specific section and just focus on the gameplay or the recaps or whatever part interests you most. But, those options are out there for you as well anytime you want them. But I just hope everyone has the best Saturday they can. We've made it to the end of the week, so hopefully you've got some time to do the things you want to do, to enjoy, spend time with the people you want to spend time with, do the things you want to do, and just relax and recharge from another week. Again, I've been Tom Shima. I hope I can see you again, and I thank you so much for being here today. Take care, and goodbye.